Good afternoon, it's Graham Brown. I'm standing here with Ged Carroll from
Waggener Edstrom worldwide.
And what do you do for Waggener?
I'm the digital consultant for Europe. So the teams themselves have a lot of expertise within them, but they're obviously very close to their client accounts. So I act as a, if you like, almost like a management consultant in that I have that separation and I don't have that political involvement within their accounts.
Are you checking the need for blogging at the moment?
I think people realise the value of blogging. It's more the kind of techniques that I'm tended to pull us away from. For instance, PR people write very well. However, from a credibility point of view, I wouldn't necessarily want to have PR people write in a corporate account.
Right. And have there been high-profile examples of this when companies have tried to hijack the blogosphere and they try to seed it with their pseudo-blogs?
Walmart. Walmart is a the largest supermarket chain, predominantly in the US. They own Asda in the UK. And they have a number of parties that they need to convince us that they're good people. So they're very, very anti-union in the US. And part of their continual PR battle is actually with the trade unions about trying to get decent care for their staff. So they did a blog called Walmarting Across America where apparently two perfectly reasonable bloggers went across America in a large motor caravan, what they call an RV, and stayed in Walmart car parks and then blogged about their experience and how great Walmart was. One was a freelance photographer, one happened to be a journalist. Both happened allegedly to be employed by Walmart and or through agents of Walmart like their PR agency.
So did they get found out?
Yeah.
How did the blogosphere react to that?
There was a bit of a shitstorm, if I can use that word, and there was a lot of blowback on it. It also gave the opponents of Walmart some great ammunition to go back with them on top of the usual kind of discussions that they'd have about whether they agreed or disagreed with Walmart's practices.
Right. So here's the dilemma. Let's say we are a large FMCG brand and we want to address maybe some of the negative publicity we've got out there recently, or maybe we want to just promote our image in a more positive fashion. What you're saying is it's very hard to manufacture this. So how do we exercise control of it? How do we have a stake in what actually gets said about us, rather than people sort of hijacking our brand and saying this is what we're going to do with it?
You don't have... Control's the wrong word. You can influence people by engaging them in an open, honest dialogue and actually putting the facts out there. And a classic example of this was JetBlue in the US,
yes.
The budget airline, where the CEO went on YouTube on video and said, look, we're really sorry that our flight system's screwed up. We actually want to be a decent airline. We intend to be a decent airline. It's upsetting us that our clients are upset. It's upsetting us that we're doing a bad job. No one wants to do a bad job.
So in summary, one of the things we mentioned at the beginning was the sanity check. There's a lot of people out there who are interested in blogging. They're kind of ranging from those who are wanting to dip their toes in it to those people who are experimenting in blogging at the moment to those people who have got probably a successful corporate blog out there. What would you say to those clients? I mean, sort of, what would be if you could give them one piece of advice, what would you say to them about blogging right now and where does it work?
Question everything you do, first of all. I mean, the big question that I tend to ask people, and it's kind of funny, people expect me to give them advice, but I actually go in and ask them questions first, and it's why. Because any kind of content you put out there reflects on your brand, and if that content is crap, dull, or uninteresting, then it reflects negatively on your brand. If you do a podcast that could have been better off as a blog post or could have been better off as a media alert in the press room, you've actually negatively damaged your brand because you've actually said to people, we don't value your attention all that much.
Right. It's almost lazy, isn't it?
It's really sitting back and thinking, okay, we can understand why we want to do this, but taking an audience-centric approach and saying, why should people actually listen to this? What are we actually giving them in return for their attention?
So when you mentioned earlier about the PR guy rather than the CEO blogging, I mean, if possible, the CEO writing a blog would be a real coup for generating publicity if it was done well, if he had the time.
Yeah, I mean, Jonathan Schwartz of Sun Microsystems I think is a very, very good example of a CEO blogger. He has had some criticism of people saying he should be focusing on shareholder value rather than writing a blog. So, that's kind of, for him, it's kind of a lose-lose situation. But there's lots of people within a company that can be really compelling and really interesting that can blog. People who are product managers who will have passion about a product, who nurse the product from inception right the way through to, if you like, its commercial adaptation. Those guys, it's like their child, it's like their baby. They will write about it in a passionate way. The product manager will stick with that product. Have them write about it.
Excellent piece of advice from Ged Carroll there.